Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all having a good Thursday. Well, it's kind of a cold afternoon. Actually, it's kind of a cold day for that matter. It's been in the mid to upper teens to almost 20 out. And so, kind of chilly to be trying to work inside the shed. And so, I've been doing backhoe work. Every year, well, usually every winter, I like to go around to different fields that either border a woods and or a fence line and look for trees and brush that are hanging out over the edge of the field. And so I actually started in this field this morning, and you can see where I started actually. Oh, up there's the road coming down along through here. Small trees and brush. I just dropped the loader down. Thankfully, with the frozen crust, I can sit down, keep the loader flat, and it basically just shears the small trees just right off the top of the ground. I shove all the briars and brambles back. For branches like that right up there that are hanging out, I'll turn around, reach up with the boom, and rip them down. And so, let me put y'all in my pocket, and I think we'll be good to go. Let's see. Let's try something a little bit different here. Sometimes my phone wants to fall clear inside my pocket and almost cover up the camera lens. So we'll see how well that works. Unfortunately, I never thought back in the late fall when we chisel plowed this to leave a strip right down along through here to drive on. Instead, I'm having to bounce crossways on this old chiseled ground. It's rough. And so if the camera kind of wants to bounce along, that's why. Trying to get set here just right inside my pocket. We'll see how well that works. But I like to keep all these trees, branches, and all that kind of stuff pushed back away from the field. That way, I don't have branches and that kind of stuff hanging out to either hit the tractor cab, the combine in the fall, the markers on the planter, or even the sprayer booms. So I like to keep all the trees and branches and that kind of stuff all pushed back out of the way and out of the road. And so I've got a couple branches up high that I got to turn around here in a little bit and reach up and rip them down. So I'll keep the camera on until I get that done. I had two other fields that here probably about a month and a half ago. There's actually a ditch, a small drainage ditch that runs at the south end. And it actually goes across the end of both fields. And there, I was getting some small mulberry trees growing up, and so I went down through there, cleaned and dug out all those mulberry trees. And this field here, for the most part, is about the only one that I can think of that's got brush and tree branches hanging out. For about the past 2 winters, I've gone around with the backhoe and cleaned up branches and shove back brush and that kind of stuff. And so we'll get turned around here. Okay, hopefully y'all can see that. But got a tree branch up there I want to take and rip off. Hopefully I can reach it. That's the nice thing with this backhoe, it's got the extend-a-hoe. So I'm just barely back far enough. I thought I was back close enough, guess I'm not. So I'm going to move back a little bit. Okay. Now that should have it. Let me reach up there and rip that branch off. With my phone set on wide angle, you should be able to see that. And there went that one. I'm not exactly sure what kind of tree that is. It's got kind of a smooth bark on it. Almost kind of looks like a sycamore, but I'm not positive. I have an oak tree right back here behind me that I got to back up to. Got some branches on it sticking out right in the way, so I want to clean them up also. Hopefully my phone's picking my voice up halfway decent. Okay, yeah, you can see that big old oak tree right there. That's actually, well, the one right there looks like an oak tree. The other one right beside it looks like a big cherry tree. So we'll get these branches knocked down out of the way. Now here's where it does make it nice to have a big excavator. Well, there went that one. And that looks like a dead branch hanging out right there. It is. Go ahead and knock that thing down too. Well, it's just barely hanging on. There we are. That's got it back out of the way of the field. That way it can't fall off and drop down out in the field right smack dab in the way. Got a couple of tree branches right up there. Need to get knocked down. Got those. I don't mind if the tree branches are hanging out over the field. It's just I don't want the branch down low we end up hitting it with either the tractor cab, or in the fall time the combine, or in the springtime when you're coming by it with either the corn or the bean planter, because of the markers. We have enough trouble. I sure don't need a marker on the planter tore up. And so that's got that pretty well for the most part all ripped down. So put the window back up. I'll turn around, push that brush back up into the woods, and it'll be good to go. And like I say, I sure wish I would have thought back when we chisel plowed this to leave about a 30-foot strip along the edge of the woods right here, not chiseled. Because now that it's frozen, it sure is rough and bouncy. Makes the job go a lot slower because you can't go very fast. Got a branch right there wanting to hang up. We'll get him knocked off. Always got to be careful that a branch don't come down and smack the tractor or break a window. Sure don't want that. Also, another thing you always got to watch, especially if you're using a bulldozer to push over trees or even a backhoe. If the tree is dead, you got to watch when you come up to it that you don't smack right into it, because what can happen, it can break if it's pretty rotted, if it's rotted and pretty soft inside. You can smack it, it can break, and the top will actually break back right over top of you and come down, bust up the backhoe, or if it's a big tree, it's liable to come down, smack you on the head, and kill you. So you always got to be careful pushing dead trees. That's why if I have a dead tree, I'll instead of using the loader to push, I'll turn around and use the backhoe and reach up high. That way I'm reaching out and I'm actually pushing away from me. That way it can't come back toward the tractor. But that's got this section cleaned up, and so I'm just going to keep moving down the line. I'm hoping to make it down here. I'm hoping to make it down here to the corner of the woods right there by the end of the afternoon. So, as Jacob Bain would say from Bain Farm on YouTube, we'll see you next time for more fun farming action.